So, this one, I'm going to call it the Cook Report. Now, those who were there will know instantly what I'm talking about. Those who weren't there, I'll explain. We're in the summer of... It's about 1990, 91, 90. Yeah, it's one of the early 90s summers. I don't think it was 90, I think it might have been 91. Anyway, the Cook Report was a very popular TV show. It was hosted by a man called Roger Cook, and he was an investigative journalist, and he used to sort of go into sort of dodgy situations undercover and highlight what a load of rascals were getting up to, get them on film, make them, edit it all down, stick it on the telly, nice little bunts out of it, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. And the Cook Report was a very popular show amongst our lot, and I loved it. It was brilliant, because there wasn't nothing on the telly like that then. There's loads of shit like that, mate. It's boring. But Roger Cook was the original, and one of the stories that he'd done an investigative story on was the Hotdog trade in the West End. Now, the Hotdog trade back then was all run by villains, and they're big banned now, these vendors, because of the food hygiene standards, I believe. I think that's how they got rid of them. And they used to be everywhere, like outside Buckingham Palace, selling all these, like, God knows what was in them. You know what I mean? But I used to buy them when I was pissed up, and they tasted alright, mate. And so we went to a bar in Coventry Street, I think it is, off of just off Leicester Square. It was called the Buzz Bar, or it's just round the corner. Yeah, anyway, I won't get too pedantic about the name of the road, but and it was round about opposite where the Comedy Store is. It was called the Buzz Bar. And it was like a nightclub, but it opened early, so if you'd done a few hours in there, you felt like you'd had a night out, and you could still get the train home. Well, some people used to go out, later, anyway, so we'd all gone up there on the tube and for a night out, and Gary was a bit sort of mad at the time, because that was after Gary had left him, and he was a bit kind of like, spun out by it all. I don't understand why. So a young son to bring up, and so he was letting off a bit of steam, so he was getting pissed up, and he was, bless him, he didn't give a shit really when he got into his state of mind, but he did have a sense of humour with it as well, and when he was getting that sort of attention, he didn't have to play up. I'll say, fucking hell. So it was all right in the bar. We was all just having a laugh and that, and playing the music, and he was all quite chilled out and that. And we was all like, look out for him back then. We always did. We always looked out for him. He was our mate. He was, he used to live in Steve Mason's shed for a bit, and he used to come around my mum and dad's house. My mum was a nurse, and because he got in so many fights, instead of going up to Chase Farm, like A&E, he realised my mum had plenty of first aid equipment, like kit, like bandages and swabs and all that. She used to clean him up. All his knuckles used to be bashed up, and his nose was like constantly broken. And he'd come through the door, and my dad would say, "All right, Gary, you've been in any fights lately?" and all that. And he'd go, "Yeah, well, I had that happens, but it wasn't my fault. It was this other bloke, right?" And my dad used to be in this big fight. And he was always like had a tail like that, He was really like funny bloke. Callum was born, he used to bring him round and that. Yeah, it was great, it was. And we used to have a laugh, and he used to always pulling my dad's leg. That's putting it mildly, but not to his face, but to me. But yeah, my dad was more known for all that kind of stuff, because he's just like that. Anyway, so Cook report, back on track, we're in the Buzz Bar. We come out, we're walking through Leicester Square, and there's people everywhere, and he's like cheeky, you know, talking to everyone, just talk, chat. And he's making us all laugh, like, and everyone in the streets laughing at all, because he was quick-witted, he really, like, you know, get out of bed early, outwit him. And we're walking down the side, which is pretty much where Capital Radio is now. And you're coming out of Leicester Square, and then we turn right, and then you go towards Trafalgar Square, and that's where you get your night bus home. And if you don't go to Trafalgar Square to get it, by the time it's done 1 or 2 stops up Charing Cross Road, it's full up, so you have to go right in. And that was my sort of experience. So I said, like, you know, we'll go down there. You're walking around the back of the National Gallery, and there was a hot dog seller. And the previous week or 2 weeks ago was the episode of the Cook Report where Roger Cook was doing the investigative journalism into the underworld, running hot dog vendors' stalls. And the people they put out on these stalls, they weren't villains at all. They were like, what, you know, they were just like Scambo Balambos, as we used to call them, basically. And this guy says, oh, I make one hot dog. He goes, I can't even fucking say it. This is 30 years ago, bro. He's picked up. Oh, hang on. Let me just come out like. He's picked up a tomato ketchup bottle and a mustard bottle. Hey, let me get over. Hang on. Let me make sure I got it. Making a decision to be very right. Okay, that's right. Let's put me cruise control back. Right, he's picked up, so it's stereo, yellow and red, yeah? He's picked it up, his bloke's looked at him, he went, oh, like that, and as he's like that, he's gone, Cook report, squeezed these jokes. And he's gone, squirt. I was going to end up like this. I can't even talk about it. Every time I try to tell this story, I'll end up just getting the fits and giggles. So you got a picture, Gary standing in front of a hot dog seller with a bug going, oi, like that, with his gob wide open, because he's going to go, oi. He's already shouted out, Cook report. There's 2 streams, one yellow, one red, of mustard and tomato sauce going straight in this bloke's mouth. It's going all over his fucking face. Oh, fucking hell. Right, and I was with Steve Mason, right? We were both crawling down the pavement. Crawling down the pavement. Now, if you know Steve Mason, he's got an hysterical laugh, right? And all you could hear in this street was him laughing. And everyone else was laughing as well. He was kind of above everyone else. When I was lying on the pavement out at the back of the National Portrait Gallery in Charing Cross Road, and there's like a mobile park everyone. And I couldn't breathe, I just couldn't breathe. I was laughing so much. And everyone's saying, because some people didn't see it, and some people did, so everyone's saying, what are you laughing at? I couldn't even tell him, just couldn't say it. Gary said snitches as well. We all like lying. Well, he was lying on the floor, laughing and all. He was crying, laughing. And of course, the excitement of that, it's just like escalating and escalating. We hadn't even got on the fucking night bus yet, you know what I mean? Like, Moody was there, and old Moody loved to laugh. He loved to laugh, Moody, like hysterical stuff, like, you know. Well, we all did. I think everyone was there that night. It was like, you know, myself, I was definitely Steve Mason, crawling along there. Gary, obviously. Paul was there. I remember Paul being there, and might have been Sean. Dave Wilson, I think, was there, maybe. Maybe. I don't know, you're going to have to remind me yourself, that's another. Darren and Wayne were there, and Moody, Alan, I think Seth was there, Mark was there, I think. Yeah, definitely Mark there. Fucking hell. Oh, it's unbelievable. I've never laughed so much in my life. It was one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen, was the sight of this streaming sauce of mustard going in this dude's mouth, all over his face. And I remember telling my dad about this the next day, and I couldn't get the words out, because he loved to laugh and all that. Especially with Gary's concerned, and he was crying in the kitchen with his cup of tea laughing. He was crying and laughter. But I just couldn't start laughing. I was talking about it with, like, the whole weekend, I just couldn't start laughing. So we literally crawled round the corner into Trafalgar Square, and fucking, I wish we had phones, man. We've said this so many times. We had all that on a phone. Oh, fucking hell. They've been the most, because they do all this stuff now, these kids, they do it like they dare each other, don't they? And they're pretty good at the dares, and they got the front and all that, but you're going to do stuff like that, it's going to come back at you sometimes, so you've got to be confident in yourself, and he had plenty of that, didn't he? So, so we got on the bus. It was an N279, and that would go through, that would go up Charing Cross Road, Tottenham Court Road, into Hampstead Road, along Camden High Street, and then do a right into Camden Road, down into Seven Sisters Road, and then left into Tottenham High Road and down towards like Holliston Garage and all that, and then, you know, the Hartford Road where we all came from, that area. So that's pretty much the old route if it went across Hammond Street. And so you're on the bus for quite a long time. Now, if you're upstairs on a night bus, there's going to be a lot of people getting on the bus pissed up, just like pretty much like yourself, full of high spirits and stuff. And when you've got someone like Gary with you, and he's like licking and cheating and all that, he becomes centre of attention. Anyway, so we're going up. Who's going up? Tottenham Court Road. We got outside Gould Street tube station, and the old builder on the pavement, and they were dealing with some incident or trying to nick some reason. I don't know. So he stuck his head out the window, and he's going, "Oi, pig!" And they're like looking at him, and he goes, "You what?" He goes, "Yeah, you, pig." He goes, "All right, mate, calm yourself down." He goes, "Pig, pig, pig, pig." And it's just like winding these two coppers up, and these two coppers are way out of their depth. They could never have, even in a million years, of even attempting to restrain a bloke like him. So they just, yeah, all right, mate, and they just let it go. They had no choice, because I think they could just sense it. And the whole of this bus stop's in hysterics, and they all got on the bus, they all go like that, and so we had a right old jolly up all the way home. And it was really happy, and everyone was laughing, and you know, it was great. It was, and the night bus became, it was like a cult in London, getting on the night bus back in the 90s. You could go, I mean, I've got out plenty of night buses home, and on my own, well, lost people or run out of fucking money. That was a famous one that I've done years ago. I went to my mate's missus' 30th birthday party, but it was way over in Kensal Rise, and then the Central Line Tuber got shut down that day because of engineering or a crash, some kind of crash, something. Well, right, it was about 2001, and I come out and I thought, I'll just jump on the tube, and then, of course, it only went one stop. It went, and I had to get out at Queen's Park. Now, that's where the football club Queen's Park Rangers take their name from. But Queen's Park Rangers is out there where the BBC buildings are, down Duquesne Road, and it's nowhere near Queen's Park, the area, which is around about Paddington area. And I had to get out this tube on my own, and started walking towards, I knew where I was, I started walking towards the A5, which is Maida Vale. And I had a pair of Jeffrey West boots on, and they take a good year breaking them in. And I'd had them a while, but I knew I was going to get grief. And after about a mile and a half of walking towards Maida Vale, they were starting to hurt. But before I even got that stage, I came out of this tube station, and I'm like the only white bloke in the area, like, you know, and I'm walking along, and there was this homeless bloke laughing at me with dreadlocks and all that, because he thought, you know, look at your fat mate and all that. And I was walking along, and I had some keys on me, car keys, and I was trying to nick a Nissan, so I'd get out of there. That's how desperate I was. And that was all the Indian Joe stuff I learned out of a garage. But sort of the locks were like the old faults, and I couldn't get any open, so I had to keep walking. And I was just prepared really to just get me into a different postcode and get out of that postcode. And I was really vulnerable. And anyway, I got to the Maida Vale, and I had to take off my boots, and just walk along the pavement in my socks, because my feet the blisters were so bad they were just oozing out blood on it. And I got on. I only had a few quid on me because I've done all my money behind the rent, and I didn't have enough money for a cab, so I just had to tough it out. And I left that party, it was about midnight, and I got home at 5 in the morning, and I got on a night bus from Maida Vale into Trafalgar Square, and then I wait for an N29 because I lived in Green Lane, so I went up a slightly different road. And I got on the night bus, and everything had changed by the time. It weren't like the 90s anymore, this was early 90s. So you got all these other people from other places on the bus, and they were all blacking all the English girls. And I nearly had a fucking Barney with one of them on this bus, and he fucking proper naughty he was trying to shove me about, and I was just fucking flared up there. Everyone shit himself, you know. Yeah, that's what it was all about then. And now I've got myself home out of that. I bathed my feet for quite a while. But it weren't like the old days, you know, you could get on the bus in the 90s and it'd be a laugh, it'd all gone moody. And then now, I don't even know, they run them now, don't they, the night bus, because they used to have so much trouble with them. I stopped using them, but they were like, you know, it was £1 or £2 to get home if you were prepared to sit on it, but you had to stay awake. If you fell asleep, you went back in again. Loads of people used to do that, didn't they? Go Hammond Street, turn around and go back in, and wake up back in Trafalgar Square, and be straight past their house. That's what happens, you know, you've got to get yourself a coffee and try and chump it out for a good hour and a half, and if you ain't talking to people, then you're just going to nod off. Right, let's get home. Anyway, that was that one. Night buses, Gary, and the cook report. That was good, wasn't it? Yeah, I quite like that one. That was a laugh. That was quite can't see nothing. Come over to the east again from, I've been out of Gloucester. It was raining out here, at least you could see a few hundred yards. Back over in the M25 now, it's going around by near Watford, and that is the pits. About this weather in this country, shit.